The DJ Roundtable Show is live. It's the DJ Roundtable Show. Tell another DJ about the show. Please subscribe.
It is Tuesday night. It is 8 o'clock. Do you know where your DJ's at? I know where I'm at here with you. It is another DJ Roundtable, and I'm glad that, well, you're here. If you are here watching over on Twitch, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching it live. And if you're watching on YouTube, we go live on Twitch. You can follow over on Twitch and watch the live episode if you want to do that and answer questions. The other thing also, as well, follow over on Twitch because you never know if I may pop up, do some music as well as the show. Now, if you're on YouTube, I am having a hard time with YouTube. There's this thing called the algorithm, and she is a monster. The algorithm, I need you to help me get out of the basement of the algorithm. And to do that, I need a few things. So do me a favor, make sure you hit that smash button, smash that like button, smash that smash button, whatever you want to say. Hit that like button, make sure you hit subscribe, and get the bell icon as well, because when you do that, that shows that you like the show and that you enjoy it. And if you're part of the 78% of people watching that are not subscribed to the channel, why? Why not? Why not? Tell me below, answer questions, say whatever you want to say. Tomfoolery, shenanigans, whatever. We got plenty of shenanigans here. As always, I'm surrounded by some great DJs here from all around the country. We have everyone except for the West Coast today. Usually I have a couple guys from the West Coast. I do know that I was talking to Matt earlier. He is out on a gig, and I think Joe is also out on a gig tonight too. But we'll see who pops in. You never know. People always like to pop in a little bit later and say, hey, I'm here. But I want to thank you. If you're a new subscriber, thank you. I got a couple more. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. It's always greatly appreciated. A couple other things to go on here as well. There are two other shows that we deal with. And those two shows that we deal with is, of course, DJ Biz School, which Mr. Night Owl does. That's if you want to get your business chops done. You want to learn more about how to be a better business person, and you want to better your business craft. That is something you want to work on and want to work with. How do you become more popular on Google? How do you become more important on Google versus your competition? There's some secrets we've talked about before here, but Sean, he broke it down, made a couple shows about it. He's got some more shows coming up soon. Again, he's busy with everything going on. He has a lot of stuff cooking. As well as I have my main man, Dwayne Dixon. He's over in Ohio. Him and DJ Mikey Mike do Cue It Up. They do 2 hours plus podcasts. They do it live on YouTube. Again, links are down below to the channels. Make sure you go show them some love, subscribe to their shows, and also follow what's going on there. Thursday night, he has actually one of the guys who watch the show here, none of which I have had a chance to talk to. They're going to talk about what's the difference between DJ in the U.S. and DJ in the UK, and that will be very interesting to see what's going on. And, of course, we have some great DJs. We have good old North Carolina. We have New York, Wisconsin, myself here in Chicagoland. So we got the Midwest. We got the South. We got the basically Northeast. Just no West Coast representation today. It's okay. I'm sad, but again, it's just one of the things that we're all working DJs. So if you are watching this and you have not seen so already, please, please, please say something down in the chat. It's always welcome. You're always thankful. I'm thankful that you're here. I'm thankful that you're watching. With that said, again, I am Buddy Mueller. I'm your host for tonight, as every night here on the DJ Roundtable. And we always have great topics to talk about. One of the things I wanted to talk about, which is something that I saw today, and I actually, it was last night and today on another page on Facebook, one of the groups I'm in, and they were talking about wireless transmission systems for speakers. Now, I do this, and I do this quite regularly. Um, I probably half my weddings, I'm running a wireless system for speakers. I'm running a wireless system for for microphones. I'm running wireless systems for body packs for ceremonies when we do that. I do have a handheld rugger plugged in microphone into the controller, so that's my microphone. But when you do speeches and stuff like that, it's wireless. So I wanted to get into a little bit the world of wireless tonight, and talk a little bit about, again, we talk a lot about gear, and I want to talk about what we do, and there's any tricks or any brands that you love having, either for wireless speaker systems or for microphones. And again, it's not that, hey, this brand is better than this brand. I love Matt. Matt is very much, he likes certain brands, he doesn't like others. Versus, I always say, get what's best for you, what works for you, and what works for one person, one market, may not work in another market just because you have radio frequencies. I will tell you that if you really want to talk to someone, is Ben Stoll over at NFLX Pro. He does have a chart with the FCC to see what bands will work in major cities and in certain areas of the country. So you can always give him a call and talk to him and say, hey, I am looking for a microphone. I have some questions, or I'm looking to do this or do that. So that is a great person there to talk to. And like before, I do wireless speaker systems. I have multiple receivers. I run Sennheiser in-ear microphones, receivers, in-ear monitors. So I take those in-ear monitors, instead of using the headphone jack for headphones, I use that to an XLR, plugged it into a speaker, and I can put the speaker anywhere within long to receiving a good signal. If it's loud and clear, not a problem. I use a standard transmitter, not the little body pack transmitter, the actual full size transmitter with a full half wave antenna. I will take sometimes that half wave antenna, run a BNC cable over and up to a speaker, so it's on top of the speaker. So it's a higher transmission, so it transmits further. The more, if you want to get more distance, you raise your antenna up as high as you possibly can. That's going to give you more distance. The thing is that you want to hide it too. You don't want it to have sitting there holding your microphone receiver or holding your in-ear monitor transmitter with your hand in the air half the night. That doesn't look good. You don't want to do that. But again, there's certain things you can do. Same thing with microphones. Shark fins. I have some shark fins. Great thing to have. Why? Because sometimes you need it for distance. And that's some of the stuff that, again, we'll get into a little bit here. But first, I want to actually ask Sean one really quick question. When you are going to do the next episode of the I'm not DJ Roundtable, but your show of the DJ Biz School, maybe a suggestion is also, I know you did about Google and ranking, but maybe you should do one on how to actually get into your Facebook and Instagram for doing advertisement on there, because I see a lot of people do that, and I think that's an area that people don't understand, don't do well. I know you do some, and maybe some secrets there you may be able to give out.
Yeah, that's definitely on my radar. I want to cover pretty much all of Google, the different things with that. Our next episode, whenever I get done with it, is all on CRMs, and then I might go into social media advertising, because there's a lot more tricks you can do with social media advertising to really narrow down your audience to save yourself money in your cost per click.
There you go. Well, I'm going to start with you first on wireless systems. What is your favorite stuff. What is your microphone? Do you use a wireless transmission of speakers? If so, what do you use there? Is there any trips, tips or tricks that you like using for your microphones or body packs or anything, or handheld microphones or in-ear monitors or whatever you're using to transmit or anything?
Yeah, so I obviously wireless microphones. My main go-to is Electro Voice microphone set. It's the RE3 ND76. Um, so that's my main go-to for a handheld. For ceremony, gonna catch some slack for this one, but I love the Hollyland Lark microphones. I was turned on to them by a videographer. Um, I've used them now for the last year, and I absolutely love them. They put most of our body packs to shame, and actually get compliments now from videographers on the feed that I'm supplying them that's coming out of those microphones. The nice thing with the Hollyland Larks, you can have up to 6 sets. So you can run 6 different sets of the microphones and essentially mic up 6 different people if you need to. They also obviously make the little handhelds, so if you need to, you can stick it into the handheld, put a little cushion over it, and you got a ready to go handheld mic. I don't really do much for wireless speakers at all. Um, yeah, I don't really run anything for speakers wirelessly, just microphones.
Okay. Have you played around with, I know some guys use the DJI or the other ones that are on YouTube, the little 2.4 gigahertz. I know
Yeah,
some
so
people
that's
use
what the
those.
Hollyland are. The Hollyland are the 2.4. They're pretty similar to the DJI. Um, Little shout out, it's Prime Day. Hollyland are on sale right now for 99 bucks for the Pro set. It's like $70 off right now. So if you haven't tried them, it's a hard bucks. Give it a shot. I have been so surprised by those. I literally quit using my body packs for ceremony and only use those now. And you can record with them too, which is nice. So we use the same ones to do like vow recording ahead of time. If we're gonna do like we do tracks essentially where we record their vows, put it over a track form, and send it to them after the wedding for a keepsake. So they were good for that too.
Oh, good, good, good. And that's the things that can help people out, especially if you want to do something different. Some people do record some vowels beforehand, or they record a reaction. They put a microphone, and they have, or I've seen a couple DJs do an interview with the couple before the wedding. They'll sit down with them, and they'll record real quickly, basically a 5 minute, interview before the wedding. Why do you love the other person? And let the other person, explain. And they, basically edit the video real quickly, and then they have it ready to go on their screen. If they have a booth with a screen on the front, and play it during dinner, and have the couple sit there and tell each other why they love each other. So that's that right there. I know a couple DJs that do that. They do charge extra for that. It's not a free thing, but it's something that can give you some difference there. So I'm going to go over to Jeff. Jeff, wireless. What's your favorite wireless like microphone? Do you do a wireless speaker system? Do you do anything like that?
Well, for my main rig, I've got two Shure SLX4 systems. Basically, they're not the digital, kind that are the latest, but they're decent systems. They're starting to show their age, but I have not found a need to replace them because they work great, and I don't ever, plan on replacing something that's working great unless there's an absolute need for it. But I do have body packs for those that I could use. I've also got two extra systems that I don't use for the SLX4 systems. Those I can use if I want to do a remote system or remote setup, but I've not used them a lot. I'm not real happy with the mics that are on those body packs. So that's my main rig. For my ceremony setup, I've got the Sennheiser EW100 body pack and receiver, and that's what we used in the television industry, for years. And so I bought myself one of those, and that works great. I've also bought the Sennheiser SKP100 Cube, which is basically the little cube that plugs into the bottom of a microphone transmitter. I use that. I plug that into the back of my controller to basically to get the booth out, and then I can attenuate the volume independently of the main system. So if I'm running a remote speaker, I'll just come right out of booth out into that cube transmitter and set that up on top of my rig, and gets a good 200 feet in any direction. It works great. And then I just use the standard Sennheiser EW system receiver and plug that right into the back of a remote speaker. And I've never had a problem with that, but I've only used it a handful of times for basically running a remote speaker in a place that is inaccessible for the main system. So, but those are my two, Shure and Sennheiser, but there's a lot of great ones out there.
And that's the thing. Again, this is not you had to buy this brand. It's just saying, hey, I use this and I like this. Now, I do see in the chat, again, Ginger Quality, thank you so much for the follow. Greatly appreciate. Live on air, I see you. What's up, Will? And then big DJ service. He loves the Hollylands, and Will also likes the Hollylands. Big DJ service says, I love the Hollylands. I'm on my second year with them for ceremonies with no issues, and that's good. I've also seen people have problems with the 2.4. Again, it all boils down to where you're at, what's around you. There's a lot of factors. Just because it doesn't work for one person doesn't mean it'll work for another person better. It may or may not.
I ran the Hollylands in Atlanta and Nashville, and have yet to have a dropout with them. The other options I had some Phoenix body packs. They drop out like crazy. The Hollylands for the 2.4, they're slick, man. I'm telling you, worth the hard bucks. Give it a try.
Okay. He is a testimonial there saying it for $100 today on Prime. If you're watching us on YouTube, you missed out on it, but go check it out. See, the price is still within reason, because you never know, for 100 and maybe $150, $160. I don't know. I'm not them. I'm not sponsored by them. So whatever they charge, they charge. But go check it out. Go take a look at it. Go check it out. And then, it's very, very fun with Jeff with microphones. I ran into that too. Sometimes the microphones that come from the manufacturer are okay for body packs. I don't know about you, but I like going to B&H, New York, on their website. You can give them a phone call, talk to one of the technicians there, one of the sales guys, and they're very, very, very knowledgeable. And you tell them what you're doing, and they can point you in the right direction. They did that for me for some microphone replacements, and I've been very happy. And I think that's half the battle.
I only run Sony on my Sennheiser system, the one that I use for miking the Minister or the Efficient. So that's the one we've always used in TV for decades. So that's what I bought, and that has never failed me. And it sounds great. Sounds better than the Shures. The Shures are just very hollow sounding, and you get a lot of rubbing. That's just it. Even the cord, if you touch the cord, you'll get some sound. So not very happy with those. But with the Sony, they sound great.
And that's the thing. And again, for you guys who don't know, Jeff was actually a camera person for a local TV station down where he's at. And so he had to deal with reporters and doing commercials and so forth, people wearing body packs basically all day long. And he was outside in the environment as well as in studios and so forth. Over the many years he did that. So again, he has a lot of knowledge in that area. And it may be something that if you're running a problem with your body pack, again, I recommend B&H. They have a lot of different brands. Check out the Sony brand lapel microphones. And again, they're not going to be cheap, but cheap stuff is not, not always the best. Sometimes, again, you get a good deal. The Hollylands, if they're working for you, great. That's a steal. But if you have some good stuff, you want to put more money, spend some money. Don't buy cheap stuff. But again, if it works, it works. It's a kind of contradiction there, but the thing is that it's true. I'm not telling you what to buy. I'm not trying to spend your money. It's your money, but I always believe, put money into quality. But if something's working and something you can get away with, why not? I'm going to go over to Ohio to Mr. Dixon, which he has, only a few years as a DJ, but he has many years in sound, in music, and has, a very large resume in music production as well as music, basically making music as a musician himself. Plus, also he fools around on the weekends a little bit with his band that he plays in the church and stuff like that. And I mean, I fool around, go in there and have some fun and hang out with some friends and play some music. And he's a drummer. He also plays. You have like 5 instruments, right? You could play, right, Dwayne?
Cornet, flute, saxophone, trumpet, trombone, piano. It's over 6 of them.
Oh, there you go.
It's so many.
I can do piano. I can do keyboards. That's it. I can do. I want to learn drums. I can kind of get the drums, but I want to learn drums. I don't think Tracy would appreciate it. I still bug her for a guitar. She says no. I look at the guitars on Sweetwater, and I'm like, I want a guitar, and program it so I can look like sound like an '80s hair band. But obviously, I'm not '80s hair band. I don't have the physique or the hair. I don't like long hair, so it's like, eh. But Dwayne, what do you like for microphones? What do you like to use for? And again, I know you used a wireless microphone system for your latest gig. If you want to tell people what you use, what transpired on that, and also what microphones do you like? What's your wireless, your poison? What's your flavor? What do you like to use?
I started off with the basic Shure. I'm not good at remembering model names, but it's not the cheap one, but it's like the middle of the road that everyone gets. I think was it like BTX or something? It doesn't.
I would have to look. Does it have antennas or no antennas?
No antenna. It's the one that seem like everybody, basic DJ has. Hunter has it. Cool thing. So I start off with those. Then Brentley had told me about the Phoenix system because I was looking for the lapel mics, and I really like those because the wireless. I like the fact that you can look at the battery life on there, and then also you can scan it and change the scanner. So it's like 4 different frequencies that you can dial up at one time, and then you can interchange the different accessories. You can either have all mics or the lavaliers or the headsets, and it come out real clear for me. So I really like those, and I like the way they feel in my hand, as opposed to the Shure where it's kind of like plastically, and it feels like it. I don't want to say cheap, but it doesn't have that.
Doesn't have the
that
weight. And
Yeah.
that's the thing is I don't have the Phoenix Pros. I think again, I'm trying to speak for him. I think Brentley does.
Mhm.
I know someone here does. I've not used them personally, but I think they're a plastic body, and I do have some plastic body Audio Technica ones, very very basic, that I have still for my days of doing karaoke back in a long time ago. Uh, and I also have some Vocal Pros too. And the plastic, it just doesn't feel right when you go into, and again, I have Sennheisers and Audio Technica is my 2 microphones I go for. And they're metal bodies, so they're much more substantial. They have more weight to them. They have more feel to them. And yeah, there's a big difference between like the Vocal Pro with the plastic outside versus the Sennheiser. They're kind of similar looking, but the thing is that the Sennheiser is a much more heavier microphone. It feels much more solid. Doesn't feel like it's going to a kid toy, like when you squeeze it's going to break. You know, if I squeeze a Sennheiser, it's not going to do anything. So I can grip it really nicely and not worry about it. The other thing also is that I do know the Sennheisers will take a little more abuse and the Audio Technicas than a Vocal Pro because accidents do happen and you need to be able to repair stuff. The other thing, I don't know if you repaired anything far as microphone wise, but the thing is that getting parts also for the big brands, it's usually sometimes easier. So again, you had a wireless speaker system for one of your gigs. So you want to tell everyone how that worked, what did you use, and what happened, what transpired?
Well, I used a Sennheiser. It's a dongle. It's a black dongle XLR, wireless XLRs, and for the most part, they work. There's sometimes you might run into an issue where you might have like static from time to time. But for the most part, 9 times out of 10, it'll work. But the thing is, you also gotta make sure that you recharge them. Because once they start to get low on battery life, then that's when you start to get the funky kind of sounds to it.
Can you
Like the
charge them at the same time you're using them, or you can't?
actually you
You
can.
can? Okay.
Yeah, you
Is it
can.
is it
I've done
USB?
that for
Is it USB?
USB-C. Yeah, so I've done that, but with this event, of course, I didn't have the time because people don't know how to stick to their timelines and stuff. Because normally I do that, like because I have one of those power adapter things where it fits on the power adapter, but on the backside you can plug something in. So I use that to plug in like my either my for the wireless unit, the dongle for that, or with my lights, I'll plug in my Donner the Donner dongle lights into that so it can always go. But for the most part, they're pretty much reliable. And then sometimes I'll go to the X Vive. I think that's what you say. But the only thing with those, you're supposed to be able to plug those into like a regular, um, was it a dynamic microphone? The wired microphone, and you're supposed to be able to plug that into it and turn it into a wireless unit. But I have yet to have any success doing that. But I have used that as a speaker to audio device when I didn't have anything to use, and it worked. So
Yeah,
I
the,
use
the
those.
the Sennheiser transmitter that Jeff was talking about before, I have one of those as well as the bass unit. Those don't have the same power output as the bass unit, nor they don't have an extra antenna. But if you're within a short distance, they work great, and it's kind of the same thing. You can plug it into a microphone and turn a wired microphone into a wireless. Just have the big unit down below, sitting down there. And the one thing you have to make sure is the microphone doesn't have to have phantom power. If it has to have phantom power, that may not work for that unit. And I don't remember off the top of my head if Sennheiser can do phantom power or not. It might be, again, I use it for transmitting for speakers, so I don't use it for microphone side. But there may be a setting in there to turn on for phantom power. I would have to double check the owner's manual. But it's one of the things that you said you're running into some noise on it. Was it 2.4 gigahertz, UHF, VHF? Do you know what it is?
I know it's a 2.4 for sure. 'Cause I
And
looked it up.
how far were you when you were using it?
It wasn't that far across the room, but at the same time, I can't put it all on the dongle either, because everything was rushed. I don't know if there was something. It could have been something other than the dongle. It's just I heard noise,
Oh yeah,
but
there's
because
some interference somewhere.
right, but
You
I
know,
couldn't. I couldn't. It could even have been a bad, audio file. Or sometimes with the USB, if your USB kind of like goes bad or whatever, that could mess up the audio from the controller. So it could have been a number of things. So
that's why you go to NFLX Pro and you buy yourself a Mort, mother of all testers. It's $70. It has USB on there. You can easily test USB-A. I don't know if I think micro USB. I think that maybe USB. I had to look at it. It's been a little bit since I looked at it, but it has XLR, it has Speak On, it has basically everything you think on for a cable. Even BNC, you could test a BNC cable for running antennas. Again, we're talking wireless. If you're extending your antenna somewhere, a BNC cable is good to have. Now, here's one of the things with transmitting on UHF. You do have a distance. You don't want to go more than basically 50 feet on a cable. That's a very thin cable, unless you have heavily insulated. And the reason why is that you start running into resistance, and you're not running a lot of power out of those. So you want to keep, if you're going to extend and put an antenna somewhere else, you want to take that antenna and you want to be within 50 feet of the transmitter. Usually you don't want to go more than 50 feet of cable. Find how much length you need and have a cable that size. If it's 25 feet, 20 feet, 10 feet, you're fine. But anything over 50, you're going to need a booster. And then you start getting into more and more expense. And then you're starting to get into stuff almost like ham radio or two-way radio communication. Okay. Oh, okay. So Will said that he has the PTU 1U, has been solid using for a year and a half. That's from Phoenix Pro. So he does enjoy the Phoenix Pro microphone. So he is also a user of that. I believe, Brentley, you're a user of Phoenix Pro. And what is that your go-to microphone, or?
Honestly, yeah. In now, I started using them in 2019 when they hooked me up with my first batch of gear. And in the course of now 6 years, let's see, I had one completely unexplainable dropout, and I think the battery just shut off for a second, or user error of some kind, because the officiant started pushing something and I told him not to. There was one time anytime somebody puts a sleeve, I should say, because it's happened twice now, videographers with their sleeves transmitting signal, I get issues. And so after the last time, I just forbid it. You're not putting anything on my microphones, period. And I now even talk to brides and grooms about that, saying, hey, if you have a videographer, I need to talk with them, and here's why. And if your videographer insists on doing X, Y, or Z, I have no control over the audio output if they don't follow the instructions I provide. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked with Phoenix for the most part. I mean, are their mics, as great as a high-end? Sure, of course not. But their signal quality is clear. It doesn't sound distorted like some of and I don't want to call Audio-Technica out, but I've never liked Audio-Technica microphones. From their wired ones, handheld across the board, even to their wireless stuff, they've just felt kind of tinny in sound. And that's when, going back even 20 years ago when I was running a live soundboard, 5 nights a week, 4 nights a week. So I definitely like the Phoenix more so than like Audio-Technica, Nady, and of the budget, or even now approaching midway pricing points. Yeah, I've always been a fan of their equipment. For my ceremony setup and for the setup I use when I use front boards, I've got the PTU 71. And it's a dual handheld set you can put into a rack or not. In my Toadmatic, I've got the PTU 2U, which is the top of the line 2-unit dual handheld they have. And I figured since I was throwing it in my Toad and might get some TV interference and all that, I'd put the top of the line model in there. Kind of a no-brainer. For my alternate ceremony equipment, I think it's the 4,000 or 5,000, or 7,000, I can't remember, but 2 handhelds, 2 lav packs. When I'm doing, non-important gigs like karaoke, I've got 2 or 3 sets of the Phoenix Pro PTU 52, and it's a dual handheld and mic and set. And all my soundboards, except in my Toad, because my Toad needed a rack mount, are all Phoenix Pro. The one behind me that you can see behind my head there, the one that's mixing this now, inside my rolling rack case for my facades, those are all Phoenix Pro boards. I do have a couple sets of the Phoenix Pro IEM1, I think it is. I'm not sure. And honestly, I've used Sennheisers before, and the Sennheisers are definitely better. Echelons better. So I even tried using my Phoenix Pros IEMs with a really expensive pair of Mackie in-ear buds. And while the sound quality was a little better, they still leave a lot to be desired when using them for in-ear monitors. If you're using them as for sending another signal to a speaker on the other end of the room, yeah, they'll be fine because you can have a little bit more freedom of EQ control on the speaker itself, or depending how you route it. In my Toadmatic, I can route that into my aux 1 send or my aux 2 send for monitors, so I can give that a separate EQ on its way out. But more often than not, when it comes to sending a signal somewhere else in a room to a speaker, y'all might think I'm crazy for this, but I've still got, and this is where I love Audio-Technica equipment. Their wireless guitar equipment is phenomenal. And I don't know how old this one I have is, but it's definitely at least 10 years old, because I got it right before I moved here from Chicago. And it is hands down been the most stable way for me to send a signal from my main setup anywhere. And the range on it, I'm getting 150 to 200 feet out of it. Whereas on any of these, IEMs, you're getting 50, maybe 75 feet at most before you get breakdown, or other things can interfere a lot easier. So yeah, my guitar pack, I don't even know what model it is. I've had it so long. And since I don't play live anymore, I'm like, let's use the gear I already have than starting to buy a bunch of other crap. Although, thanks, Sean. Tonight I have now spent a few $100 on Amazon Prime. Thank you, Prime Days. Let's see. So we're getting a new rack mount mixer and a few other odds and ends for my ceremony rig. Yeah, I'm feeling really stupid about it. Oh, and the notification just came through that Amazon is shipping my order. But yeah, so I'm definitely interested in checking the Hollyland out, because I want a second solution to the lav problem. And more I'm seeing, because videographers don't want to be compliant necessarily or give anything about the DJ, our microphones, or our signals. Guess what? Here's the only way you're going to get a signal from me now: out of my mix, out of my board, or out of my speaker. And I like, the more and more I think about it, and Sean, thank you for bringing them up, it solves a whole lot of issues for me. Because I don't know how many DJs out there do this, and I'm finding it more and more. Not the DJs aren't, and videographers aren't either, but they're not touching base with each other in advance. And this is when I'm noticing it more and more, that videographers are now replacing the DJs having a chip on their shoulder going, I'm the DJ, blah, 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 blah. I'm now seeing the videographers that are definitely coming in. I'm here to be your videographer. I need this, 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 and this. You need to do this. And sadly, because they don't do as many weddings as a lot of us do, DJs are just, bending over to them and letting them do what they want, regardless of what the result will be for their couples. And I've run into more issues with that. So I'm just now going, here, this is what you get. Case in point was a videographer I worked with a couple weeks ago that I reached out to 2 or 3 times. Crickets, no reply. Both text, email, to his Facebook page, nothing. And so I don't know how anybody's running a business like that. But then shows up the day of, expecting all this stuff. I'm like, I've reached out to you. Here's what I can give you. This is the best I can do because you didn't give me any advance notice, and I'm not bringing an extra case of equipment just to have in case you need something. So this is what you're getting today, and that's how it's going to go. he ruffled his feathers and he's like, well, why wouldn't you bring it? I'm like, because I reached out to you 3 times. Then he's scrolling his phone. He's like, oh yeah, I see this. Why didn't you reply? It would have saved us both a lot of headaches. So I like that, what Sean gave us tonight for gear, because I'm going to be checking them out almost immediately. I think I'll have them by the weekend. So I might actually use them. But yeah, that's what I'm running for all my wireless gear. Battery powered, I have obviously got an Everse 8, and I'm really digging on Solstice's battery powered sub. I'm really digging on it all of a sudden. So I'm honestly thinking of adding that to my ceremony rig. And that's about, and thank you, Amazon Prime Days. I've been staring. It's on my lower screen here right now. I've been stewing on it for a few weeks, but I think I'm going to do it.
So here's live stuff, gear being bought as we have the show. We're talking about it. So that gives you a lot of information.
Bradley, I got another piece of gear for you too. Mackie has a battery powered mixer, so you can go completely wireless for ceremony.
Oh, I've already seen it. I'm really considering it. Oh yeah, don't make no mistakes. I want a fully battery powered and wireless ceremony rig. If it's not fully rack mount
this year, it's so slick.
Yeah.
Or you can just buy a Pacron and be like done.
Yeah. That's one extra piece of equipment to bring. I don't want to carry battery around. My speaker's battery powered.
I can use any speaker I want. I can use any mixer I want. I can use anything. See, there's pros and cons. Not saying it's right, just saying, hey, I can do that.
One less piece of equipment.
But then at least you have a backup option in case your battery dies or overheats due to the weather. You at least have that huge battery bank up to do something where you do have extra power on an input.
And anytime I'm outdoors nowadays, I'm running around with my Halo Bolt and my Blue Eddy.
Yes. Oh, that Halo Bolt. I love that thing.
The Halo Bolt is a lifesaver.
Oh,
Not only can I power some crap up at a wedding, if anything goes wrong, I can charge my vehicle.
You can start her up. That's right.
Oh yeah, and currently right now, because I was dumb and left my convertible Saab, I left the battery in all winter, forgot to take it out because it doesn't come out during rain or snow or anything that's even slightly not sunny. So I've at some point got to go deal with my battery, and the Halo Bolt is the toy, the key.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Is it a Saab 9.3?
Yeah, 1999 Saab 9.3 convertible.
Love
turbo? My baby. Yeah, love my car.
5-speed?
No, auto.
I
got it. Long story short, I only paid $500 for the car. I was looking for a piece of crap, and this is one Mira, 4 years ago. I kept joking about it. That I was going to find some crappy, 1981 Chrysler LeBaron, buy it for $500, throw a couple quarts of oil in it, drive it to the ground by the end of the summer. But just say we had a convertible for the summer. Why not?
You decided to do it afterwards?
Here, send it to the boneyard, get $50, whatever. But then a couple I DJ'd for in 2017 or 2018, they had to put an ad up with a Saab for sale. And so they were asking $2,000, and I walked over to their crib. I'm like, I've got 500 in my in cash, and I can Venmo you the rest. They're like, we'll just take the 500. It's yours. I'm like, what? And so I didn't even tell my daughter, just drove the thing home, put it in the garage, and came to take her to school after I got the plates on it and pulled out in that, and she flipped. But now it draws too much attention to her, so we can't drive the ragtop around.
What?
You can't win.
Tweens.
It's bad enough I'm DJing her school dances now. I mean, she's like, one, the teachers are going to be really cool with you. I'm like, yep. So if there's ever a problem, they can just give me a call, and I'll know what teacher is calling. We'll be on a first-name basis and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I thought this through 100%.
So Crossfire, hello, how are you? I saw you say earlier. And then Will says, Brentley sub is not needed for a ceremony. Maybe extra speakers for more coverage would be better. A sub for a ceremony? Again,
I liked hearing Matt and having the full range of everything. Because the Evers, the 8 or the 12, they both are limiting. And I've always been a firm believer and think Evers or EV speakers are definitely on the flat side. So when I've tried to even, give a little bit of a punch on the Evers 8, it's clipping almost immediately. I'd rather not have to worry about and give that full range sound at a ceremony. And yeah, I can see it sounding better. And could I charge a few more dollars for offering?
How about trying the Pioneer Wave 8 system?
I don't even. After my recent experiences with Pioneer, 3 decks, 3 issues, yeah. And will I hop on the bandwagon as soon as they release the Rev 9, which I hear is supposed to be a beast? Probably.
Probably not going to outdo a.
They'll pull you back in. They keep pulling me back in.
Well, here, at least they stood behind their gear and fixed the stuff. It was like pulling teeth to get my gear fixed and taken care of. But I've committed 9 years to Record Box, and right now I have 13,500 songs in my active library. Don't ask why I know this, but yeah, I'm not going to go and repoint my entire library. I'm just not. And I'm not going to have some app do it for me where they're not going to do what I want. So hopefully their next batch of gear is solid and they don't rush it like they did the Flex 10s or the Rev 5s.
Well, we'll see. And again, look for there's a lot of things, a lot of back channels, and they hear what DJs talk about, and it goes to the top. When stuff doesn't work right, trust me, the ears and the phones are ringing. Will says also Alto has a 12-inch battery speaker with Bluetooth on it. Is available on Amazon. One really quick thing, also when you're talking about videographers and microphones, I ran into not last year, last year, for a videographer that wanted to put in the groom's breast pocket one of the little 2.4 gigahertz microphones. And I'm like, no, I do not want interference with my microphones, and I don't want interference with other things. And he's like, no, I got to do this. They paid for this. I said, well, you can hook up to my audio system. Everything they say, you'll record everything and come out of the speaker. Everything that they say, everything. Why got to record beforehand? I go, I'll turn up live beforehand. When do you want it? I'll record it before that. I'll do whatever you need. I don't want the micro. He goes, no. He goes, okay, just turn it on when you normally do. What does he do? He goes by by the groom and puts in his body pack on the groom after I told him, please don't do that. So when I found out, because the groom comes over by me, he goes, I got the body pack from the videographer in this pocket. You're gonna put the video. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do anything now. He goes, why? I go, because interference. I don't want to run into a problem. I go, you're gonna possibly have problems with it because again, it's 2.4 gigahertz. I'm on 2.4 gigahertz with Audio Technica with the body packs. I can change frequencies. I already scanned and saw what frequency worked because you can manually go in and see what channel it's on. I also have the app on my phone. I can see what's in the 2.4 spectrum, which you can download off of, the Play Store or off of Apple, and you can download a Wi-Fi analyzer. It's free, and you can see what's in the 2.4 gigahertz and see if you can switch channels. And it's a crowded frequency. Everything from Wi-Fi to Bluetooth is on that. So I'm like, I don't want to interfere. I don't want to run into a problem. So I'm not going to do that. He's like, no, please do it. Please do it. Please do it. Okay, fine, great. And did it. He was up there. He was talking, kept on dropping out, kept on getting interference, kept on, he would talk and all of a sudden blank, talk and then blank. And I don't run into that. The only time I've ever run into that when there's another 2.4 gigahertz microphone in the area, because the body pack is trying to transmit and it's receiving a signal from its other 2.4 gigahertz. What frequency it's on, it's trying to change channels. It creates a lot of problems. And I told him afterwards, I said, I told you not to put the body pack on him. Well, I have to. I go, did you hear the sound in the ceremony? It dropped out 3 times. And I told the groom, I'm like, I'm not liable for this. I don't want to be held accountable for this because of the videographer. And he's like, well, I have to do it, and walked away. And trust me, Tracy and I both were like, we told you not to. And the groom and the bride were like, yeah, we heard it, 3 times. And again, it was only for a second or two. It wasn't really a critical part, but it can interfere. And that's why I'm very much like you, Brentley. I don't want to have a videographer having their own stuff up there because that can cause a lot of problems and headaches.
Yeah, the only time I've ever run into mic problems is legitimately when videographers do what they want. And, some of them are just putting those recorders with sleeves on a microphone. But the big problem with that is you're putting it up top by the top of the microphone. Now you're making the user of the microphone move where their hand position is held on the mic, which is now probably covering a good chunk of your antenna. The other thing is, if they don't use a sleeve and use tape, they're leaving some BS on your microphone. And I may or may not have made a videographer cry, but I'm like, you are putting your stuff on my gear. Get it off. And then there was residue because they used bad gaff. And I'm like, this is exactly why I told you not to do anything. Now you're going to go take my microphone and the rubbing alcohol that's in the cleaning stuff that's in my case and go clean my microphone. I told you not to. You did it. And this videographer is like, I'm like, if you'd listened, 1, we wouldn't have had any problems during speeches, but you didn't. And now 2, you left me a dirty mic, which I shouldn't have to clean up because of your incapability of listening. Needless to say, she was out back cleaning my microphone, crying over it. And I'm sorry, but I'm not there to be nice to you if you don't know how to listen and do your job correctly. I'm not there to hold your hand. I am there to make sure the experience we're creating for our couple is second to none.
Well, I think maybe we need an upcoming episode of horrors from the wedding with other vendors that don't respect your gear. Photographers who drop their luggage off in front of stuff. Yeah, we got tons. We can share pictures and stuff like that.
Oh,
we,
yeah. In fact,
we have the receipts.
When you come back this way, I got to warn you about a wedding coordinator. And I use that term very loosely.
Oh, okay.
All she is a coordinator. She's not a director. She's that bottom level. Bottom fever.
Here,
hey,
I will throw this out there.
Tracy's a coordinator. Her title is coordinator.
She's a director. She's a director.
No, she's a boss.
Is up here. Everyone else is down here.
She's my boss.
Buddy.
She's my life boss. But
right.
Tracy's title is coordinator / owner. So she's truly
a promotion.
Yeah, she doesn't need a promotion because she tells everyone what's going on. And the thing is that, again, she does an awesome job at it, and that's why I love her. I want to go to you, Chris, because again, everyone's got a chance to talk for her, but for you, what do you do for wireless? Do you do wireless speakers? What's your favorite go-to wireless microphone?
Sure. I don't have actual wireless speakers. I actually have done the wireless Stealth version 1 years ago with a couple events that I had. I had tried another friend's wireless transmitting system that was professional grade, something called the T3. I don't know exactly who made it, but it definitely did the job. Much easier than the Alto stuff because I did actually have to go just above 150 feet, and I was on top of a hill, and it was down the hill underneath the pavilion, and I had luckily no problems during that, and people were very impressed on the distance I had to go because the first year I did it, I ran 200 feet of cable, dual coaxial, not coaxial, XLR. So I ran 200 feet the first year, and I'm like, I'm done with that. I bought the Alto Stealth for first gen years ago, and went to someone else's system tree, see how his worked, even better. But I haven't tried any of the newer stuff that's been out there. Would definitely love to if I do get an end event that requires that, but I'm sure I'll do that really soon as more foam stuff is coming. I'll probably end up needing to do DJ works. I'll put some speakers on these. Let's see here. So we'll get some speakers on that and do some bigger events.
Here you go.
And I'll be that far away.
When you used the original Self from Alto, what was your outcome? How did it work? Did it work well? Was it okay?
It worked well until someone walked in front of the booth area where it was at, because I did make sure I had a good line of sight. The antennas were definitely in a great position to give it line of sight and pointing, not directly at it, but definitely giving it that direction. But yeah, other interferences from other things like people's cell phones going all over the place, that was going on in that park, even though we were all outdoors. That first year of doing the wireless, it just kind of almost made it, almost unprofessional, even though it is what it was.
That's one of the nice things having shark fins is if you're having distance, and again, you're going over a good amount of distance, having those fins that's very directional for either receiving or broadcasting, you're pointing toward that item and it gives you a much more of a narrow look. Because when you look at regular antenna, stubby antenna, a quarter wave, half wave, or full wave antenna, which is a really super long ones. Most people usually don't use full wave antennas.
Right, full wave antenna, babies.
So when you start getting into that area, those are omnidirectional. That means it receives signal from 360 degrees. When you do shark fins, just like your hand, and again, DJ Crossfire was in the Army. He knows what shark fins are also. When the sergeant's doing this in his face in boot camp, if you're in the military, you know what a shark fin is. But kind of same thing. You're pointing your direction, and you're putting that direction you're pointing the shark fin at is what you're receiving. So it's a very narrow receiving area. And when you are going for a distance, that's what you try to use, shark fins. And that's going to help alleviate a lot of interference. Make sure you scan if you have a unit that can scan. This is going back years ago. I want to say this was 05, 06 from Voco Pro 2.4 gigahertz wireless speaker system. It worked like crap. I mean, you're within a few feet. I remember we did this wedding. I had speakers, and I've done this plenty of times since then with better gear. But I had speakers up on front by the head table to come down. We were on this side where the dance floor's at. The room was a rectangle, so I had speakers on one side shooting down the length of the hall, and every so often it would go out because it's 2.4 gigahertz. The one speaker, I was like, oh man, it's like, and I did everything I possibly could. Bought better 2.4 gigahertz antennas. Bought a extender adapter. Ran the cable up onto a pole. 2.4 gigahertz. And again, this is I want to say 08. It wasn't as predominant as it is now, and I was running interference then and problems. So it's one of the things that when you play with 2.4 gigs, you gotta kind of watch it because you can run into problems very quickly. And again, it's a very crowded frequency. Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, regular phones, even household phones. And again, I'm kind of old school. I have a household phone, so that's 2.4 gigahertz, and 5.8 is the other frequency that they use.
DECT 6.0 is a 1.2 gigahertz frequency. So
yep, and you have 900 megahertz phones.
Remember all those?
And then you have the old ones. You go back to the 80s, the wireless phones. They were what?
50 megahertz. They were 50.
Yeah, 49.8.
Yep. They also worked on the Radio Shack walkie-talkies.
Yep, the two-way, the intercom system. You push down, you can talk to another room. That's the same.
Baby monitors.
Yep. So we're showing our age here. We're showing our knowledge.
No. I'm not showing my age. I was just a Radio Shack store manager.
All right, here, show of hands.
You're still showing your age.
It's only 13 years ago.
Radio Shack's been gone, what, 10 years?
At least.
Well, 13 years.
12, 13, yeah.
2012, yeah. So
he was only 11 years old when he was a store manager at Radio Shack, so.
Yeah, right.
I want to see a quick show of hands here. Who here shopped at Radio Shack to get some stuff? Be cables, batteries, components, stuff from Radio Shack It's like, who here had either a mixer or another professional audio part from Radio Shack? I still have one. I have a 9-volt microphone mixer, which I think it's on the shelf over there. It puts a 9-volt battery to power it. It has 1/4-inch plugs and it has RCA out. It has 5 sliders or 4 sliders. Yeah, I used that. That good old days. Speaking of good old days, it is always great to have these days like this and to share these days with my friends here. And DJ Crossfire, he has the Flex 10. He loves it. Thanks for everyone tuning in and watching tonight. I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone here talking about stuff. And again, it's one of the things, there's no, you must buy this, must have that. It's to open up and say, okay, maybe it's something better. Maybe there's ideas. Again, Brett Lee is going out and shopping. He's tearing up Amazon right now, spending money. And maybe you're going to spend some money tonight too.
I just spent money too. I'm going to this new convention that was purchased today.
I haven't spent anything. There's nothing coming from Amazon over the week. Nothing. I didn't just buy a new jetpack too. Yeah. If the DJ thing doesn't work, I'll do the Fred Garvin male prostitute thing.
Oh,
yep. I'm all good with that.
So, ladies of La Crosse, Wisconsin, be prepared.
I got you, ladies. I got you.
You may see a guy out there dressed into the nines, ready for to go out and have fun.
Who wants to be my slick?
There you go.
I need my pimp. Who's going to be slick for me?
Again, that's a whole nother show, whole nother story. With that said, Brett Lee, because you must start it out.
Brett Lee is going to need a fluffer first.
That's actually what I named. Do you know that is what I have named one of my crates in my DJ computer? The fluffer.
Fluffer?
Oh
Jesus.
God.
No.
Well, we have side B and main B. So those are my main crates to use for the EDM dance club place. Yeah.
All right, let's get out the porn subject and let's get this show done. Brett Lee, take us out. Might as well.
Thank you. All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to the DJ Roundtable Show. I'm DJ Brett Lee. Thanks to our host, Buddy, and hope you tune in next week for another episode. Thanks, everyone.
Have a good night, everyone. And stop watching the porn. Quit playing with your dinghy.
You shake it more than twice.
Speaking of porn, Pornhub's banned in Georgia. Not that I know.